Hello everyone and welcome to Daria Draws. So we've reached the end of the World Art Dubai series and I'm finalizing it by releasing this video where I'm going to paint a huge mushroom 80 by 100 centimeters. So without further ado, let's begin. So I'm breaking the charcoal and getting ready to sketch. I really like having some charcoal in the painting because it makes it look a little more imperfect, and since mushroom has to have like this earthy feel, I needed to mess it up a little more. As you will see later on, none of the colors will be looking too clean or too polished, so we can really get the feel of a real mushroom. And I'm beginning by covering the whole mushroom with somewhat mid-tones to shadow kind of colors, and just to break the shapes and give some color to the subject. And of course, I'm not using any textures at the moment. I'm using very thin layers, but because of the movement of the brush that I'm doing, it already looks kind of textured even though there's barely any paint on there. I really like the effect of a semi-transparent shadow, and I want this one to actually leak. It's also so strange because I started filming this video in the old apartment and now I'm in my own studio, so that's nice. So I did work a little bit more on the mushroom, but I couldn't find the footage. I don't think we've missed too much. I'm starting off by actually redefining the shape, so redrawing a little bit, adding some volume where it needs to be, and yeah, basically working on the outlines. And of course, I'm adding shadows as semi-transparent layer. I'm using here like reddish browns. I'm using very complicated mixes of colors, and yeah, none of them are clean, or they all have like a little bit of umber or different kinds of brown or gray. So the color palette is very muted, but enough to give me the range of contrast that I need. And I decided to make the background a little bit brighter to draw more attention to the darker mushroom. And I'm not covering entirely the canvas so that you can see that green peeking through. That will essentially connect the whole painting. Working on the edges is also important, so that's what I'm doing as well. Some of the edges need to be sharper in order to have a feel of maybe a tear somewhere or just a more defined shape. And on the mushroom, like sometimes you have a more curvy shape, so you need to accentuate that as well and make the edge softer. And of course, once that dried up, I made another semi-transparent layer so that the white is actually not white, it's a very light gray with some purple in it. So it's as I said, there will be a lot of complicated mixtures. And yeah, I just decided to kind of soothe it a little bit and mute it just ever so slightly so that it's not bright all over the place, but only in the places where it needs to be. And just kind of get rid of that super bright gray where I feel like it gets too much. The semi-transparent layer not only goes around the mushroom but in its shadow as well, to make it even darker but not add too much paint, because I still want all those leaks to show through. I'm redefining a little bit the stem of the mushroom and the place where it touches the ground, because that needs to be darkened. And of course, more texture. I'm not doing photorealism, but still, if I'm going to make a mushroom this big, it has to have a lot of details. And so I'm working on that, adding the little dents, little crevices, all those imperfections, and of course some of the finishing touches in terms of highlights. As you can see, none of them are very bright, just because mushrooms have a more matte finish, at least the ones that you find in the forest, not laying out in supermarket very neatly. So here's the end result. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and you would like to see more of my content, just subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. I will see you in the next video.